Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Steve from GraphicDesignerTips.com. This is the awesome graphic design of the day where every episode I choose something that I have come in contact with, some kind of a graphic design layout throughout my walk of life, and I present it to you and show you the mostly the good points, and I show you some things maybe I would have changed and get your comments and opinions on that. So while I was at the dentist this past week, if you notice my Listerine thing right here, I grabbed a brochure that was sitting next to me while I was sitting, on the table, and it was for Listerine 21-day challenge, and it was a nice little brochure. There's certain things I like about it, but then I came home and I realized, wow, I have the same exact Listerine bottle. So definitely, I believe everything happens for a reason. Ooh. So I wanted to talk about this little brochure right here and show you some cool elements and how the brochure products, colors, fonts match the actual fonts on the label. Oh my God, how did that happen? Well, that's branding right there. So let's jump into Adobe Illustrator CS6. I'll go over this real quick and show you what they did. All right, so now I have this brochure scanned, and it's actually a bifold. It folds just in half, and it's about 4 by 8.5. 4 inches wide by 8.5 high. So I didn't like the back cover. There wasn't too much stuff going on. It was kind of boring, and just some things I didn't like at all, actually. So I just did the front cover and the inside panels. So let's going to start with the front cover first. Let's work our way from the top to the bottom. And, obviously that's how we read top to bottom, left to right. But what I first noticed is I noticed typography. I like the way it's so basic, but the fact that, we did take the Listerine, the way that they did the take and the, what they did was they actually added tracking to those lettering. Man, I'm like so much coffee today. They added tracking after each letter to add that space and fill the space. So it's saying take the Listerine 21 day, and 21 day is the most important because they're going to talk about how 21 days it takes to form any kind of a habit, which is one of my favorite sayings. I've always said this for years and years, ever since I heard it when I was in college. But I like the way that they did it. It's pretty boxy. If you pull up guides, everything pretty much matches here. Everything is with the tip of that Y. That's where you want to have that pretty much going. You can even have the Y extend over that. That's where the guide would be. In this case, these all line up. Don't worry about the register logo. That would just kind of fall as not a part of that. Coming down here, talking about alignment, these are very aligned. They weren't able to really justify this paragraph of text because there weren't enough words, and to really make it more justified, they'd have to shrink the type and stuff like that. So they did a good job with that. At least there's no hyphenation. They did a good clipping mask on this product. It might actually have even been built. This might even be like a 3D model type of a deal. It doesn't even actually look like an image on my actual print, but this is actually exactly what my bottle looks like right now. The deeper clean, the same exact label and everything. So their colors obviously are the like the mint green and white. So they did a pretty good job, I would say, of utilizing those same colors in here. They did in the background behind this product. You can see it's a gradient. It goes from the dark to the light area over here, which is pretty cool. And they also did shadows of their product and this little day 21 calendar, and the shadows look realistic. But the part I love the most about the front, well, one of the most, is just something I do in all my designs, is the way that they differentiated. They broke this area up with this banner. And not only did they break it up with a banner, but there's actually, there's a gradient in here, there's a gradient in here. And there's shadows popping this off from the background. If you actually saw the physical print, the scan doesn't do it justice, you would be able to see, they did a lot of little effects on this to make it like there was just this strip just slapped on top of that green background, this black strip. That's the whole point of it. It breaks elements up. Makes it more three-dimensional too. So everything is very centered here. I like what they did. Visit and for details is not as important as the web URL. So they, bold, put that in bold. Things to think about, little things like that. So let's jump into the inside of the piece, where the only thing I would have changed if I was them is I would have differentiated the left and the right just a little bit more, because the left is all about what is plaque, biofilm, and the right is all about what is gingivitis. All right, so it's showing all the good stuff about this, the plaque, and the gingivitis is all on the right. I wish they would have differentiated it, not make a line, but maybe a different fade, a darker green, and everything maybe darker green on the headlines and stuff like that, just to separate it. But it's not terrible. Starting at the top, they have this band that breaks it up again. It adds dimension, and to jump all the way to the bottom, they do this same thing. They break it off with a band. What is these headlines right here? What is not as important as the words that people want to see: plaque and gingivitis. Like I said, they have the images depicting, and the descriptions, and everything again is flush left. If you pull a guide, this down here matches up with these, which is pretty cool. What they also did was they did these 1, 2, 3, 4, and they made it so, I don't know if this was purposely putting number 3 there, but so it kind of lays on top of that and it fills that area just a little bit. And what else? They have this image. I don't really like what they did here. They put a shadow on this and kind of outlined it in that white, but they didn't do the same thing over here. There's no white around it, and there is a shadow, but it's a little bit different. It looks like 2 different people created it. Yeah, these 2 different pages. Well, those 2 images, excuse me. But everything's very lined up. Like the 1 and the 1, the 2, they're all lined up. All the headlines are lined up, the questions and the solutions, excuse me. And coming down to the bottom, like I said, this breaks it up. And even the shadow, it's funny, a lot of drop shadows, when you do a drop shadow, generally it is offset to the right or bottom right, down and right. This is off to the bottom left, which is obviously somebody manually did that, which is pretty cool, because I guess they would have assumed people are reading it from left to right to make it pop to the left. I don't know. That's just my BS opinion. The last thing is the way that they took the bottle on the bottom and they just put it right down the middle. Basically, it's showing that this bottle works for both things. So because it's on both halves of the sheet now. So that's really it on here. Well, also, they actually, what they did was they finally started, besides up here on the body text and down here, they started using more black text, but bolding it where it's important, like the statistics, the percentages and stuff like that. So, like I said, let me know if you find anything that I haven't seen in here or I didn't pick up at first. But, oh, actually, hold on. The last thing is I love how they did the gradient of the green from the left and to the right. It kind of draws you back into the piece. So if you're kind of like going off the piece, it bounces you right back in. Kind of like bumpers in a bowling alley. So, yeah, let me know. Thanks for checking us out for the awesome graphic design of the day. I hope you learned something. Let me know your comments below on what you learned from this graphic design layout, what you may have done differently for yourself, or things that I didn't pick up on the piece. It's a very simple piece, but if you didn't learn anything from the video, I hope you at least learned that, mouthwash is a very important aspect to a good, hygiene. And, especially if you're going on a job interview, you're going on a date especially, make sure you're using, mouthwash, because, I just come into contact with so many people. That's why I make these videos. I don't like to be around people anymore because they don't use mouthwash. So, anyway, click the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel. We come out with videos every couple of days. And all about graphic design. I'm getting into a lot of, obviously, technical stuff, business stuff, and there's a few more series. I just have so many ideas in my mind. I'm trying to find the time to do them all. But thanks for joining us again. I hope to see you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night. Peace.